Now, welcome. Oh, hold on. Welcome to the stream. What the fuck is wrong with my eyebrows here? I've been having like 10, 15 minutes worth. There we go. Welcome to the stream. We got Chrissy's Corner. Bom dia. Welcome to Rosa's show. Welcome to the stream. Adamson. Missy Adams, excuse me for that. Ghost Dog Productions. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Got a great one tonight. We got a good one tonight. There's much to talk about, much to do, much to ponder. Much to ponder. Looks good. Looks good. Everything looks good. Please share out the stream. Tell somebody. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Just tell whoever you can. Everybody. All right. It's gonna bug me until I fix these stupid eyebrows here. My eyebrows aren't like that. So why? There we go. There we go. Now we got them down there normal. But, all right. So, how's everybody tonight? I mean, it's a little late, you know. I started 30 minutes late. You know, it happens. But, like every time. But, you know, that's cool. Expected, right? I said it. So, let me go back in the chat a little bit. I got chat docked up in the OBS now, so hopefully that, you know, allows me to be a little bit more up with it, okay, people? I heard your message. You screamed it loud at me last time. Like in Theory says something every damn time. But Mike Spano, delayed. This is an outrage. Well, sorry, get over it. Very unprofessional. So was you. So are you. Preposterous. Preposterous. I'm the only person ever to do it. I know. I've never done it before. Dizzy show. Dizzy, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you. Yeah, I got my my little running guy here today. I don't know why it's freaking. I'm gonna check him. I gotta check my which mic is. That's the reason. Yeah. Hello. Oh yeah. Now I can talk. Now I can talk. Hey guys. Yes, I got my little running guy here. I figured that was suiting for you know, life coaching school. I mean, doesn't everybody wear a track jumpsuit with a headband, hair slicked back? At least I got hair. Some life coaches don't, and I mean, they really wish they did. So everybody can't be me. Blue, welcome to the stream. Goister Mass, J King, welcome to the stream. Glad to see everybody. Glad to see some new faces in here. Only if you were going to Red Morton Park. Well, if I was going to Red Morton Park, yeah, I'd have a selfie stick, not at a desk. But good point. I take your point, and it is noted. Next time, selfie stick. Okay. But still think it was pretty fitting. I mean, I could have been, I don't know, could have been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde again. That would fit the character too, don't you think? Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Well, which one is he? Which one is you? That would be the question. But yeah, there's a lot going on. You know, it's kind of been crazy out in the YouTube streets, isn't it? Is it not? It's been kind of crazy out there. You know, there's been a lot of betrayals. There's been a lot of perceived attacks, perceived betrayals. Everybody's fighting for their loyalty. I feel like everywhere I go, my loyalty is being questioned. Not by one person, but in several places. It's always like, and not necessarily my loyalty is being questioned as in I'm being questioned as somebody that's done something wrong, but like I feel like I walk into a chat or I walk into a server, or I walk into a Facebook group or something, and it's like two of my friends or two of my allies or two of my people I've never had any beef with are all of a sudden like got a beef against each other that I didn't even know about, and all of a sudden I'm being asked to like, basically like pick sides or something. Like that's the way I feel at least, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I guess everybody's just feeding for drama, trying to make sure the drama's not them. So everybody's like paranoid. Everybody's yeah, I don't know. But here's one thing, all you gotta know. When the world goes like that, when you walk into a situation and your loyalty's being questioned, when you're being questioned for doing something wrong, if you don't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. Period. It's really simple as that, people. I know it sounds, yeah, sounds easier for some. It is easier. If I- Sorry if you can hear the crunching. I had to eat a Tums real quick. But tonight, in the past, I have talked many times about MPD and narcissists on the platform and narcissists in your life, narcissists in relationships. A lot of times I've been very, for myself, you know, having a degree in psychology, spending my whole adult life studying, personality disorders and being fascinated by MPD and antisocial and BPD and autism and I've always been very I guess teachery or analytical or very much by the book. Haven't really gotten more into the I guess everyday kind of situations. If that makes any sense. If you've seen my streams, if you've seen my work before, then you know what I'm talking about. So this one we're going to talk a little bit differently. Maybe for a while, who knows? I tend to get a little bit definitions, reading kind of kind of teacher mode, but I'm trying to take a little different approach, at least on occasion, and you know, and that's what this stream is. What are some common phrases that almost all narcissists use? I mean, you must realize that if any kind of group, any kind of person, or that is driven by uh, something they can't control, something that is natural, something that is not that narcissism is all of these things, but when you're driven by something out of your control, basically, it is who you are, whether it be a disability, whether physical or intellectual, or whether it's a psychological disorder. They tend to show some common characteristics, um, common things. So they think the same way. All narcissists think the same way. So tonight, in a little bit, we're going to go over some phrases, common phrases that you've probably heard. And it's obviously, just because you've heard someone say these one or two of these things doesn't mean that they're narcissist. But um, still, if you do have a question of somebody you know really well that you might suspect to be a narcissist, and these things will they probably come out of their mouth before. If you're someone you're close to, someone, a spouse, a brother, um, a friend, even not most likely a friend, I guess, but still, um, because most narcissists don't have any friends. But um, yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. We're still checking the chat out here. Trying to make sure I think everything's working. Did the notifications go out? Can you hear me and see me clearly? Can you hear me and see me clearly? From Norway, we're live on YouTube. From the armpit of America, it's me, Coach Lies. Cup. From the armpit of America. If it was me, I would just, take Redwood City, build a moat around it, build some water around it, make it into an island, and just push it out to sea. Really just all Silicon Valley altogether. Northern California, about Malibu North. Maybe, man, let's just do the whole state. Fuck it. Fuck it. Those are my real eyebrows bouncing. That's how I speak. I mean, they're going nuts, are they not? Oh, um, what was Missy even saying? Sorry about that. Hi, no ho blue, hi blue, hi ing. What was said, Jesse? Phone was in your pocket and you accidentally hit her. Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. Everywhere we're shuffling. So the only problem with this whole setup is right. It is actually reading the camera is reading my motions. There's a sensors on the camera, but I mean the camera's sensing my eyes, my eyebrows. Then the mic is sensing my voice to do the lip sync, and then my body can sway. But the thing is, with my setup, I've got three monitors, so like I can only look one direction, and I can set it like if I wanted to look to the left, I could set it to be straight ahead. But as soon as I look back at this screen, dude just looks like he's freaking cross-eyed, some cross-eyed motherfucker going, really, really, really going nuts. So I still haven't quite figured out how to. I don't know. Maybe I can put them on top of the monitors on top of each other instead of like off to the side. Maybe that would help. I don't know. I'm still kind of. It's every stream, every time I really delve into trying to actually use the graphics after creating them and putting them together, it's like there's always something that I'm still trying to figure out. But so you have to pardon that if you kind of if his eyeballs are just all over the place and his eyebrows just don't stop bouncing because that's not my eyebrows. Might as well just bom dia. Um, yeah, sorry, Missy. I hope you don't take offense to that, and you can come back in a few minutes. I can't shorten the time for you, but I did unhide you myself. Did unhide you myself. Um, yeah. So how's everybody doing? Is anybody do anything exciting today? Anything they want to talk about? Mention, praise something you did good. Let's keep keep it kind of positive here. Really, you know, it's kind of a normal day for me. Um, Good to see you, Dia. Very good to see you. Um, yeah, I mean, really just went to work and jobs are easy enough and weather was nice actually. I mean, really, it's kind of an not normal day for me, I guess. Usually, I find myself falling into something stupid, but today was pretty calm. Pretty calm. Hmm. Let's see if I can pull it up. Send out the stream here. I'm gonna share the stream. Give me a second. I'm gonna share the stream, and I'll bring up. We'll get started on the content for the evening. The content for the evening. Hmm. Yeah, the difficulty with the chat tonight too. I don't know if anybody else out there use it. What you use as you for you they like Jamie or what you use for. See why isn't it doing that all of a sudden? That's ridiculous. We're going to take that out. All right. Now we're gonna have stoic eyebrows. Okay, much better. I mean, really. Oh, but yeah, I couldn't really get the Streamlabs chat widget to work, and I don't know why. And then I tried to get the Restream chat, which I used to use, to work. Yeah, I don't know, it wasn't working either. I'm glad I just finally got something, really. because that was the goal of the night. That is the goal. Pay some decent attention to the chat. Um, as hasn't always been not always been the case. But all right. So, does anybody have any before I delve into common phrases of a narcissist? I mean, does anybody do you you don't have to say names or anything at all of any description of them, but do you know someone decently close enough? Do you know someone well enough to think that you might be dealing with a narcissist? Have you experienced a narcissist in your past? Are you familiar with what narcissism MPD is? Um, before we get started, I just want to kind of get a gauge of what you do and don't know, so I don't say on what everybody kind of has the basics. I mean, um, I was talking with a friend of mine that thinks, like, just last night I talked to her for about an hour. She missing her two front teeth. She's apparently just got knocked out, and she's really scared. She's scared. And she's saying that the police are not doing anything about restraining orders and all this, and that was one of the questions she asked me. Was about narcissism and if this guy was a narcissist. And of course, I can't speak on somebody I don't know um, at all. I can only speak on what she had told me, but it's a common thing that people want to believe every asshole is a narcissist. Every evil person is a narcissist. Every sociopath is a narcissist. Um, that everybody that is egocentric is a narcissist. Um, and really, if you never truly dealt with one, it is hard to understand. They are hard to understand, and so yeah, I was just wondering if anybody, like I said, you don't know any names or who it is or boss or coworker or ex or whatever. I was just wondering if anybody, dealt with personally, even not even on YouTube. I mean, of course, many allegations, many names have been spit out there on which YouTubers are narcissists, and my opinion, a lot of times uncommon opinion on the subject is that most YouTubers, most people that have dedicated their time, effort, and life to becoming a professional, full time, lifetime YouTuber, not a content creator, not everybody that creates videos, but when I say YouTuber, that's how I classify YouTuber, somebody that has dedicated their time, effort of their life, or their career, or to be a YouTuber. And the typically narcissism typically comes with the territory. There's many characteristics that you really most have that are dedicated YouTubers. Many characteristics fall pretty hand in hand with being a YouTuber. Um, and what it ends up, and why narcissists stay on the platform, why narcissists not only are attracted to the platform and the idea of being successful on the platform, but why they stay. Um, for me, I mean, I could go on for hours probably on that simple. Simple. I can go on for hours. Something simple. I could go on for hours probably discussing, that's just specifically the YouTube characteristics of a YouTuber that are also in line with the characteristics of narcissism. Um, and I have done a stream on that in the past. A little bit. I talked with. I think that was when I had Mama Goonie on the stream that we talked about that for a while. But of course, it doesn't mean every YouTuber, but it kind of comes with the territory, honestly. And of course, again, just because you have narcissistic tendencies does not mean you're a full narcissist, does not mean you're evil, does not mean you are a bad person, even. Um, but yeah, Oh yeah, I most definitely have dealt with a narc, and it sucks. I mean, it does suck. And Bomdia, I don't know a whole lot about you, honestly. Again, it's why it's kind of not uh, because I don't know. I only know what you've shown me. I only know what I've seen, from you in different areas. But um, I'm pretty confident to say that you're a pretty empathetic person. You seem like a very kind woman. Um, you know, generous, nice. I'm sure you have a great deal or higher level of empathy, and it's the empathetic that narcissists seek out. It's the empathetic that narcissists are able to, um, it's who they prey on because, um, because it's the empathetic that are willing to basically accept, not see it at first, not see the signs. They're easily manipulated, um, and so that's why narcissists tend to prey on them because they're also willing to stay longer and accept, um, see the good in their partner or um, the person that they're in any kind of interaction relationship with, whether professional or, like I said, or even professional or romantic. I mean, friendship, platonic relationship, just friendship is most likely not going to happen with a narcissist because you're not providing anything for them. Friendship, companionship is not something that they're seeking at any point. So, that's why I don't have friends, really. I mean, besides the fact that they want to have friends because they know that friends can benefit them in ways that they can capitalize on to meet their goal of whatever it is in life, success or power or money. Um, but so I don't really have friends as often, but but I'm sure if you've dealt with it and you say that it sucks, and then it sounds like you had a bad experience, and that's just my thing. My first thought is, you seem like a very empathetic person, and that's a great thing. Um, and that's why. I mean, that's with the woman I talked with yesterday for a long time, my friend of 17 years from high school. That's what she is. She's a very high level of empathy. She's always wanting. She believes that she didn't see the signs at first. She's been dating this guy maybe like 8 months. Well, for the first 3 months or so, while the courting was going on and they were first dating, going on dates and everything, she didn't see. She says that's what she told me. She was like, "Well, I see that he's normal. He was normal then. So I know he knows what's the difference between right and wrong, and he doesn't have to be this way and violent towards me, and he doesn't like he shouldn't. He knows I've spent a significant amount of time with him when he wasn't like that. So I feel like I can help him to understand that it's kind of issues with him, and that he can, we can get back to that stage. And um, unfortunately, the way that typically happens, I don't know about her situation. Of course, I don't even know if the guy is a narcissist, but if she is dealing with one, then it's most likely that not that he was a good person or a person that saw the difference in right and wrong or didn't abuse her in the beginning and say she didn't see it. He was able to hide it better because of lack of time, lack of need to manipulate, and which obviously the more times you do manipulate someone, the more likely you are to be exposed. But um, she just didn't see it because of her, like I said, being a very empathetic person, um, and that was something that she hadn't thought about. And hopefully she either way, whether this guy's a narcissist or not. I mean, she's bruises and front teeth knocked out, and she must get away from this dude. I mean, this dude is insane. I mean, apparently, like 3 or 4 days ago, he was on top of her car hood with a baseball bat, like a little one. It was like she said it was like a little one, that like a little league bat. So it's probably only like three, like bang, jumping up and down, bang both hands on the bat, jumping up and down and slamming it on right on the hood. Like she said, he looked like a monkey. Like that's how he was, like jumping up and down with a bat on this girl's freaking car. It's like imagine. I mean, really, I can't fathom even ever doing that. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that, really. Um, but I mean, what drives a man to like I I can understand, I've had women cheat on me, treat me like shit, and I can understand how someone gets to the point of anger that they want to act out on someone's car. Okay, I've never done it. I swear I've never um, keyed a car or slit tires or bashed in windows or anything like that. Um, but as um, my my fantasy lover, if you will, Carrie Underwood says in her song. And I understand what it means, what it feels like to want to take a Louisville Slugger to someone's car. But um, I mean, really, you're gonna stand up on top of it, jumping up and down, banging it with a baseball bat. I don't know what drives someone to actually want to do that. That or like feels like that's a good move. That's the move to take against. You've already knocked this woman's teeth out, and like you feel like that's okay, and that's like something you don't do. John Reyes, Johnny Savage. Welcome to the stream, Johnny Savage, Latin lover. Welcome, Jenny's cuddles and kisses. Jenny's cuddles and kisses. Welcome, welcome. Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's hard for someone that's not not abusive in that way, not to imagine. I mean, of course, I've gotten so mad at a woman that I have, um, punched holes in my wall. I got several holes I've patched in my house, and several houses I've lived in actually. Um, I mean, I've gotten so mad. I was screaming, didn't seem to help. I felt like I was going to jump out of my skin, and like couldn't get rid of the anger. But I've never turned it on a woman like that. I don't. Something I have a hard time, and even if you're not ever, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because literally, I mean, I just don't know. I mean, but I understand how it could be like an accident one time. But I mean, obviously, if it's happened over and over again and you're striking fear in this woman's eyes time and time again, you got something wrong with you, dude. You fucked up. You fucking need help. And you should be in prison. Facts. I mean, if you've laid your hands on a woman more than once, that then you're fucked up. You need professional help, and you need to be in prison because there's no excuse. Of course, it's anger, situation, and where passion overtakes you, and you do something out of kind of, sort of, maybe not really, but kind of out of your control, or an accident truly does happen. You try to throw something at the wall, and and it hits her, or something like that. I mean, it's hard for me to come up with a situation, but you know, then sure. But it's happened more than once, happened several times. You fucked up in the head because no point should any man be able not, use physical domination, physical harm against a woman and feel like that is okay, that is something they need to do to what? You're going to change the behavior of the woman by hitting her? Not likely. You what? She can. So if it's not going to change the behavior of the person you're frustrated with, it's in your own head, bro. Facts. And you need some help. Bend. Donnie Shaw. Donnie Shaw, welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. Bend, he says. We all get banned. Maybe you're going to get banned next. Maybe you're going to get banned next. I think my dog has MPD. Your dog could have MPD. It's possible. It's possible for your dog to show some characteristics of narcissism. My dogs, I mean, they lick their own ass and chew bones and shit. I don't have, I don't have any puppies in my house. I got poopies. That's all they fucking do. Shit, chewing bones, and fucking sleep. They're not really narcissists now. You got to be awake more than 16, more than like 4 hours a day to be a narcissist for sure. Narcissist, because that's one. Well, and I was really kind of kidding there in that joke, but I know it fell flat. But still, actually, narcissists are often on the insomniacs because, again, everything the narcissist does, everything is to meet a goal, is for their own benefit. A narcissist in a relationship, a narcissist does not do anything. That's why you can't have a relationship with a narcissist. You can't love a narcissist. I mean, you can love a narcissist. A narcissist won't love you because a narcissist is not empathetic, has no low empathy. Nothing they ever do is going to be a selfless act. If it seems selfless because they bought you flowers randomly on a Tuesday, they most likely bought you flowers because they knew you would feel good. They knew you would that would strengthen your trust, your relationship in them, so they could use that as leverage, whether directly or indirectly, later on, for manipulation purposes, for their own benefit. There's something behind it. There's never a selfless act um, with a narcissist, and that's why relationships are so hard. And you eventually begin to see this. You eventually begin to realize that you may get something on your birthday because it's your birthday, but there's not a lot of thought into it. It's usually going to be something presents, and even when they receive presents, if it's not something that they're not going to have any kind of genuine feelings of, um, you know, gratefulness, or um, unless you're truly something that you're doing, something you're doing or giving them that would benefit their goal, their purpose, their um, means in life, really. And that's why it's so hard, because you don't realize that at first, but then you start to see the signs. Then you start to question yourself that if you're seeing, perceiving things differently, wrong. Um, it hasn't always been this way. Those kinds of things is why you stay longer. And then when you stay longer, is the manipulation only tends to set in even deeper. So see, I thought my chat would like update here up like more better. Um, keep your hands to yourself. Yes, yes. Frankie 2 times. Let's see. Um, what program did you use for the little animation? For the little Adobe. Frankie 5 angles. Frankie 5 angles. Welcome to the stream. Raleigh Jones, welcome to the stream. Old Dirty Ninja, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you. Took my wrench. Well, you probably said something against the channel. You probably said something against the channel, against me. You either talked about my Braves, negatively on my Braves, or you said you like Seinfeld. I mean, there could be a number of things to get de-wrenched on this channel. I mean, honestly, straight up. That's number one rule, first off. The Seinfeld is a joke. I'm really just joking with couple people of several streams ago, and it's kind of been running. The one of the main rules, besides respect to um, respect to people and other people in the chat and everything, of course, respect for language, um, is you don't talk about the Braves. You don't talk negatively on my Braves. You do that, I mean, you're gonna get the quick boot. We can talk about the Braves. You can, criticize the Braves in a way. You go over the line though. You better toe the line. If you feel like you got to toe the line because you got something to say, then sure, we can talk about baseball. But watch yourself. Watch yourself. So you don't take criticism well. Isn't that a narc trait? What? What makes you say that I don't take criticism well? Because I don't let you talk negatively on my Braves? Does that mean I don't take criticism well? When you Adobe what? Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, well, not for this one, not Audition for this one, but also Character Animator. So That's why I said Adobe. It's not just one. Character Animator, Photoshop, and Illustrator have all been used to create this character, to make this character do these things. Mainly Character Animator is what does the lip sync right now for you, what you see. But look, let me see. Let me get beyond that. This guy just wanting to pick at me, trying to call me. No, no. Let's see. I saw some good comments. I'm trying to find here amongst the fluff. The fluff. You don't get a pass just because you have a vagina. What do you mean you don't get a pass? No, women should not hit men either. But the thing is, I know I've been side cocked. I have had women come at me aggressively with their fists. I've never really had them come at me with a weapon. Um, Never really had them come at me with, even anything in their hand. Usually it's just straight like uh, coming at me, trying to slap me in the head, basically, and whatnot. Um, and there's a difference in also, at no point I can think of 3 women that I had full on aggressive confrontations with, where the look in their eyes, they wanted to hurt me. And in no point in any 3 of these situations was this woman going to physically hurt me in a way to cripple me. I don't know you guys. I don't really know. I've never sized you up, never seen you in person. But any one of you guys in the chat right now, if I don't pay attention, if I don't protect myself properly, I could catch one across the nose, across the eye, and be down on the floor. And ain't no point in any of these 3 situations I can think of with these women coming at me, fierce in their eyes, ready to, wanting to put me on the floor. At any point did they come close to physically being able to do so? Did I get hit? Did I get scratched? Did I get slapped pretty hard that left a handprint on my face? Yes. Did it hurt me, knock me out, cause any damage beyond that? No. 'Cause I protected my nose, protected my head. That's why I got side cocked. And at some point, to make it stop, I had to keep her away from me. But at no point did any of these women are not freaking Helga, the freaking shot put champion of the world, that's going to be able to physically overtake me. There was no reason for me to really put my, hit her back or anything. That doesn't make sense to me, because at no point was it threatened that I was going to be physically overtaken. Now again, I had to deal with slaps and being side cocked by a fist. I mean, her fist hurt. I mean, if she had a ring on, it was not pleasant. But I mean, still, it was not. If any of you had a ring on, like if a guy had a ring on, knocked me in the head just outside the temple, just to the side of the temple, then I would have been on the floor. Maybe maybe I had some damage. And that would be something I worry about and protect myself with, by a weapon or whatever means. But ain't none of these women gonna physically overtake me, because so there's no reason to use physical domination or hit back, especially in any aggressive hit back type of manner. Doesn't make sense. But I understand, yeah, they don't get a free pass. It's not like I'm just gonna sit there and let a woman keep hitting me. No, I blocked her, tried to get her to stop before she did, and eventually I may have had to kind of hug her and be like, "You're gonna stop. I'm gonna go the other direction. You're gonna go this direction. Like, let's just take a break, whatever." I had to stop it from her freaking nailing me in the head with a ring, but at no point was I worried about her knocking me out or causing me any serious harm. So I just don't see any point. I don't see any reason to physically act back in a manner that could cause her harm, knocking out her teeth, knocking her unconscious, punching her in the face, pushing her into a wall, slamming a door on her nose. None of these things makes any sense, because I was at no point threatened in any of this similar manner. So why? So it makes no sense to use more aggression, use physical domination in a way of that could harm a woman like that. That doesn't make sense to me. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, I get it. Get it. I've been attacked when she wasn't going to stop. Just my words weren't going to stop her. She was going to continue and continue and continue. and they don't get a free pass. They just can't keep hitting me and not expect something back. But protect myself and then way to subdue her long enough to explain that we're try to calm her down. That was it. But let's see. How many people truly act selfishly? Good question. Good question. I actually like this setup now. I got like back in the chat, so I don't miss a specific question, but I'm also keeping up with on the screen the main chat, up to date chat too. So kind of like the setup here, a little different than last time. But say how many people have truly act? That is a good question. Not many people do. Um, Not many people act selfishly, selflessly. Sorry. Not many people act selfishly often. Um, Even usually it's an act of opportunity. Um, you see it, you come into an opportunity where you can hold open the door for someone. You have to wait as you're entering a restaurant. You look back, there's a woman coming in the rain, trying to put down her umbrella, and you stop, stay in the rain to open the door for this stranger. That's a selfless act. I've done it and do it all the time, but it's still an act of opportunity. I didn't plan it out. I didn't choose to, in a premeditated or predetermined act. Um, you know, those situations are, in smaller things where it wouldn't cause me so much effort, so much maybe strain or, uncomfortableness in the rain that it would, that people don't tend to do it very often. Yeah, like bigger acts. Ones that do take some predetermination and maybe set up and um, you're right. Not many people do, and even the ones that do, it's not something that you really do all the time because we all do think of ourselves. As much as uh, we might think we're not or want to think we're not, we still are, selfish. The human nature, in general, is very selfish. There's no doubt about that. Good question. Thank you. Um, let's see, Chrissy's corner facts, Jamie. I don't know. I missed that. I wouldn't look too much into a nice gift unless it's really extravagant. I wouldn't look too much into a nice gift unless it's really extravagant. You wouldn't? For yourself? Is this a gift for yourself? Because no, I often, women in general, though, Jamie, women in general, they've put thought into they didn't go to Walmart on the day before your birthday and choose something. They didn't go knowing they have a week, 4 days left, go on Amazon and just search until they find something that you think you might like, or they've often, and even a lot of times in my experience, even if it's something that directly you asked for because you need it for some reason, there's something else that they've given you or done for you on your birthday or Christmas that is much more thought out. And they want you to recognize that in a way, because it's again just like Ghost Dog said, in a way, it's not a selfless act. The recognition um, it makes it not completely selfless. Um, Even though it was thought put into it, it was for the person. You spent time, effort, money on getting a good gift, a meaningful, thoughtful gift. Still, as humans, we seek the approval and um, gratitude and recognition for our time and effort. And that's important to us many times. So, therefore, that's what keeps it from being selfless. But still, it's more selfless maybe than selfish. But yeah, any gift you get from a woman, Jamie, is not going to be, there's going to be reason why you got it. And she put some time into it. And you better recognize that, bud. Because you should show it on your face. Practice if you got to. um, don't be a giver to get her. Don't be a giver to give her. Give her to get her and get her to get her. But if you give her, then you get her. And if you get her, you give it to her, right? I don't know. I don't know. Yes. No, he just criticized the chat for being fluff. No, I didn't make it clear, but I was actually only specifically referring to your comments, MJ, as fluff. Because you pushing my buttons on purpose, bud. He also wonders if he says smart ass remarks to him. Yes, see? I mean, or you get called fluff. You got a lot of smart ass comments, you get called fluff. That's it. All right. I put a lot of thought into gifts. See, Jamie puts a lot of thoughts into gifts that she gives. See, I'm telling you. Do you get a cookie now? No, 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 no cookie for you. Now, what are you attracting fucking messages for? You do, Jamie. I was the recipient of that. I'll always remember it. Um, hmm. It's okay. It'll be on screen. I'll eventually see it. I don't like that it just deletes. I gotta get one of them dang uh chat chat widgets where it doesn't take it away from the screen. That's bullshit. All right. So now we've talked, basically on a lot of things, some real situations on narcissism. Um, where some specifically common phrases that a narcissist may say. Um, there's different phases that in a relationship with a narcissist, there's different phases you will go through. Um, that the narcissism is going through. You may not even notice these phases. You may not even have, at the time in the moment understood who you were dealing with or what was going on as far as these phases because it may just seem like a normal relationship to you. Um, but really most in almost every relationship, every situation, every relationship, really, not every situation, but every relationship, you see, you see these phases. And the first phase is the idealization phase, the idolize phase. In this phase, though often it involves love bombing and idealization or idolization, either one. Um, the, you know, you early on, quickly, you may see them doing things that show what you believe, what you know to be signs of true admiration, true, they really like you. Signs they may be already in love with you in a quick moment, in a quick amount of time. Um, Looking long into your eyes, really concentrating on what you have to say, seeming really interested in everything you say, everything that you seem to um, not necessarily have a lot of things in common, but they seem to be very interested in everything that you do and fascinated by it and want to know more. And and that seems like they're looking deep into your eyes and that and that's what you're going to see because not many people that you come across are going to do that, especially early on as you get to know someone. You may be fascinated by them, but you don't want to seem a certain way. You don't want to seem like you're coming on too strong, or you really just don't know them well enough on the first. I mean, we're talking sometimes first date status um, on this situation, and um, it's like it's it's like it's like they've never known someone to be so incredible that this person that you have a person like you has ever existed. Um, you may find just times where it seems like you're just talking about yourself for a long period of time and they're just listening and listening and really, but you can tell, obviously we can tell in situations and with anybody whether they're actually listening or they're waiting to um just waiting to speak themselves to get their own point across, or whether they're just on their phone, or whether they're not paying attention at all. Obviously, we can pick up on those cues in interaction. Um, but a lot of times this idealization stage comes early on. Um, and it's really you we seek all we want. And one of the main things that any human, especially, well, besides narcissists, truly, are seeking, anybody with any level of empathy and any level of emotions is seeking to be loved, right? We all want to be loved. We all want to seem like someone cares, is interested in everything, is interested in us for who we are, not just a part of us, but all of us. It's all what we all seek. If you don't, um, research narcissism. um, but some of the common things you might hear is, you are the most beautiful girl, the most handsome girl I've ever seen. You are so amazing. I wish there were more people in the world like you. If I feel so lucky that you are giving me your time, and it's a huge responsibility for maybe that's for, or maybe that was something. No, I'm so lucky that you are giving me your time. It's a huge responsibility. I just want to better myself every day to be the best for you and for the life we are building. You are the number one person on the planet. No girl could ever compare to you. These types of things are things that a man may say to you, or your partner may say to you further on down in a relationship, maybe in the, shit, right after an orgasm. I mean, fuck. But but in bed, at pillow talk, or obviously during your nuptials, or things like that. These are not necessarily uncommon things, but to be loved. But these types of phrases will be during the idealization phase are said earlier than most. I mean, of course, there are people that first love at first sight and elope 5 days into a relationship, and they elope to Vegas and they live happily ever after. It does happens, and they're not narcissists, but typically it's not as common, and you're going to be love bombed. I mean, these things are going in almost every situation, um, every interaction with this person. These types of phrases are going to start to increase in frequency, um, earlier on than normal. I mean, usually, you don't even know. How do you know that no girl's ever going to compare to you? How do you know that you're just the best person you'll ever meet? I mean, if you don't know the person that well, if you don't know what their hobbies are, what their habits are, what their uh, family's like, what their background, you know what I mean? You can't truly know these things. You can feel it. You can feel love and things early on that you can't explain. And so you attribute it to things like this. But it's not common to be love bombed and idolized in an early stage of a relationship like what happens in the idealization phase. Um, Let's see, a couple more in the idealization phase. If it's a guy, he will often call you by your full name, followed by his last name, to condition you to start seeing yourself as their spouse. So to see the manipulation. So as these things, I'm so afraid to lose you. These are straight manipulation as well. This is straight manipulation to make you feel that because you've been in relationships, you've been through who knows how many guys, doesn't matter, one, two, or 100, you've never probably seen or had a guy say these things to you, and see and the way he's looking at you and the way he is taking true interest in you at this time and everything. He wants to know everything there is to know about you. It is some truth to the interest in the person. You see it. You see love when it's not necessarily that. It can be manipulation, and these are all to, um, like I said, he's already. I mean, he may do when he throws in things. The true manipulation comes in when he's love bombing you. These things you have heard. Like I said before, you're amazing. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. These things come early, but then they're followed by putting. I've said those things. I've never in my life told a woman called a woman, like called her on the phone and been like, "Hey, you know, Joanne, her name's Joanne or whatever. I don't know. I just made that up, but my name's, my last name is Hill." And it's like, "Oh, oh, hey, how you doing, Joanne Hill?" Like, no, I mean, I've had conversations where we kind of like, oh, well, she'd start up something in bed or something and wanting to, talked about the whole trying out my last name with her name and stuff. But that's not even really the situation we're talking about. We're talking about him literally calling her, needing to use her name to get her attention, or greeting her for the first time of the day or whatever, and then just randomly adding his last name onto hers. Like, that should strike you as kind of strange. But the love bombing before that, leading up to that, all kind of makes it blurry, makes it not as noticeable, makes it seem normal. And this is all grooming to the end result, which the narcissist wouldn't be with you unless there was means to elevate his situation or her situation in life or in their job profession. So the narcissist is only with you for a reason. It ain't because you're beautiful, unless a trophy wife makes them a better lawyer or is going to make them successful to have, and then they would prefer to have. A lot of times they would. A lot of times they would prefer to have a beautiful woman, of course, a woman that men are envious of. But it does. um, so it's all of this is still just grooming to get to this result. Um, they might, let's see, what's another good one on here? They will cast so many visions for your dream future together, what your plans are, having kids, moving in together, living happily ever after, with whatever XYZ details they gathered from you about your deepest desires and values from the beginning of studying you to mirror it all back and reflect your soulmate as a result. And that's why they took so much interest into you in this idealization phase. And they love bombs you with these things to keep you talking, to make you feel comfortable in these good feelings for being accepted, for being wanted, for being being admired. So it opens you up in a long talks uh, and all of it. They're just taking in, creating a list. I don't not necessarily I'm not necessarily like writing stuff down, but they're that calculated with they know to lock this information away. And then all of a sudden you say one day you'd love to live on the beach, and all of a sudden they're talking about their uncle, or their uncle's a real estate agent in Malibu, and he told you a couple years ago about a house that that the market out there is low, so it's definitely something we can do. Go live, soon. Go live in Malibu. These things that you don't put together at the time because you're being blinded by the manipulation, but he's going to mirror your own desires back to you, and you're going to feel these feelings so much of that you're not going to even you're not all really not going to take, not that you're not going to take interest in him or interest in what he thinks about all these things for himself, but he's going to deflect and project. Well, not project, probably, because he's not really projecting here. He will be deflecting Pat to avoid him and what he truly wants until he studied you enough to be able to mirror it back to you. And that's why it's the love bombing. The love bombing is not only to manipulate you to uh, accept this marriage and everything, but to open you up, make you feel like you've never connected with someone so fast, and you're going to open up in ways and say things that you aren't normally going to have done in past relationships that moved much slower, or or wasn't with a narcissist, basically. Um, But just as importantly, other than that, what they say, they will shower you with gifts, gestures big and small, more romantic than anything you've ever experienced, to where you feel like you're the luckiest guy or girl on the planet, and maybe this really is the one. Text you the sweetest pictures of old people madly in love over a 50-year marriage, and say, "That's going to be us one day, baby." um, I can never imagine doing that either. Hey, look at this couple. They're 50 years old sitting on the park bench and holding hands still. You know they love each other. That's going to be us one day, baby. I mean, that's just not something I would say, but so yeah, that's the idealization phase. Any questions specifically on that, or have you experienced it? Does what I've said, even if you haven't experienced it, don't know narcissist, never understood, does that kind of make sense to the path timeline of and the purpose of love bombing? The love bombing is not at a later stage in manipulation. When we get to a later stage, love bombing will be used for a different reason. For different reasons. Love bombing is one of the most effective means of manipulation out there. It's one of the most effective tactics out there because it feeds into everything that we desire as humans. So, in a later stage, in a later form, in other forms of manipulation, the love bombing is used differently. Seems the same. See, it still shows why these are master manipulators, because it's still going to show the same pattern. It's going to show the same pattern of behavior from your partner, yet once he knows everything there's to know about you, and there's other reasons to use love bombing, and it's not going to be as frequent, but it will be just as much when it does happen. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna go do a stream Friday night on narcissist, genocentrism, and God. It's an interesting subject. That is definitely some interesting subjects you got there. I realize when I'm trying to put together a Wolfiest World News that the news is fucking boring to me, and I can't really make it interesting. Huh? Convincing the narcissist to do things your way, set boundaries by disguising them as compliments, focus on solutions, avoid outright challenges, don't play the blame game. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the scorecard game. No. You best not even try to convince the narcissist to do your things your way. Your best is to, once you realized, get the fuck out. Just stop. That is always, and I'll make that clear, and it's something I do want to make clear in case there is somebody that feels like they're stuck in a relationship with a narcissist and they don't know how to get out. There's one way. There's one effective way, no doubt. Stop. Stop talking to them. Stop calling them. Stop paying any attention to them. Give it up. You're not going to help them. You're not going to get what you want out of the relationship. It's going to always be the way it is. If it's miserable now, it's going to be that way. So once you realize you are dealing with the narcissist relationship, your best bet is not to win the scorecard game, not to prove them to be the bad guy, not to find the right time. Stop and run. And that's going to be the only way that the narcissist will fully understand that they no longer have the manipulation over you. If you don't do that, any form of communication, if you have children with them, that's when it becomes very difficult, because any form of communication of any kind, or even perceived communication from them, will lead them to believe they can still manipulate you. That you're still listening, you still care, and you best just run if you figure it out and you're deep into it. It sucks, and that's really the only way to win, if you will. You're going to struggle to do it any other way, because they're going to continue to find ways to, through smear campaigns or psychological, gaslighting, or things that are going to keep you involved, keep you in the toxic cycle. So your best bet is just stop and run. Like, change your number, change your address, enter the inner witness protection. Like, that would do it. About the only way. Or you just boot the narc from your life, which is, there you go, Ghost. That's it. That's really the only way. That is the way. Because at that point, you have completely disarmed them. They can only manipulate you if you let them. So if you're not speaking to them and you actually give them what you've never done. What the fuck was that? What you've never done in the past, which would be to cut communication and kick them from your life, then that's really the only thing that's going to completely convince them that it's over, that you disarmed them, and they're going to step up their shit, and they're going to come at you harder to um to keep you in the loop, to keep you in the cycle. But if really just booting them is the only way, and you got to stick strong to that when you decide to do that, because there's I mean, they're master manipulators. They'll come back. After the discard, they'll still come back if they get bored, or they get, out of the next relationship and are looking for a target. They'll go back to their previous targets because they believe that if you were able easily, or you were manipulated at one point, that, you know, time, maybe you're not in a good space at that point, 10 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years later, 5 years later, they're going to keep coming back. They're going to keep coming back as long as you, even if you just open the door to look out to see who it is, even if you just, even if you just answer the email, stop talking to me, I still don't want to talk to you. That's enough. Telling them not to contact you anymore is enough to make them believe that they can continue. Because at that point, you're still listening. You still cared enough to respond, even in a short, negative, get the fuck away from me type of statement. That's still enough to make them believe that even if they stop at that moment, they still will believe in the future they have a chance to continue to manipulate you. So they will come back if they feel they have been starved. If they, if at a later point in life they've been starved of what they need, meaning they've been starved from the ability to do this to someone else, to keep using the people in this relationship as a stepping stone. They're going to come back. They're going to come back. And the only way to completely cut them off, or the only way to get rid of them completely, is to cut them off and completely disarm them. Don't answer. Don't respond. Tell them once. You're done. It's over. And then doesn't matter what happens after that. You're done. You have to show strong conviction towards that fact that you're done. Because if you don't, even like I said, even just in one sentence, one word, picking up the phone and hanging it up is enough. Because you're still listening. You still cared enough to even say that. So that's really the only way. Only true way. Narcissist says narcissistic manipulation is to blame. A narcissist uses many tricks of manipulation in order to trap their so-called victims. The truth is that we never knew their intent. We could all run a mile. Yes, again, same thing. The narcissist, that's what I've said. The narcissist is not going to do any selfless acts. Everything the narcissist does, everything they do in any interaction at any time with anybody, narcissists don't even love their kids. Most narcissists don't even love their kids. Their kids are no different than John next door. If they find means to use their kids to benefit their success, to make more money, to boost their power, or increase their influence and power in this world, then they'll do that. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they don't take care of. A narcissist is not going to neglect their child either. A narcissist is going to do everything possible to keep that child healthy, to grow them, to give them a good education, to make them successful in the world, because the fact that they are successful in the world makes them and their image and their goals more likely to come true, or to to boost their image. So there's a narcissist is not going to neglect a child. It's not something you should worry about, that the narcissist is even going to hurt a child, most likely, because those things are against their goal. Their goal would be, you're often going to see a narcissistic parent really pushing their kid to be a baseball player, or to play the piano, or to, like, a lot of times an instrument or something like that, that can be used to elevate their status, to increase their network with the right people in their business, or in the world, or in their community, whatever it may be. That there's some reason, and they're still willing to sacrifice. In the end, though, they're willing to sacrifice their children, no different than anybody else, because the empathy is still not there. The feelings are still not there. Doesn't matter whether it's the wife, the children, the parents, or the stranger next door. It's all the same. It's all manipulation. Every bit of it, every moment, every second, every talk, every situation. Something they believe they're so calculated, they naturally come to morph this manipulation to a great degree to that just becomes who they. I mean, it is who they are, and that's why it's one of the scariest people on the planet. Because yes, Ghost Dog, most people don't do a lot of selfless acts. But if you're not, but if you're not a narcissist, if you have any level of empathy, you do stuff some. You think about it at least. You don't not. It's not everything you do every day going to be only to benefit your own agenda, whether small or big, or no matter how frequent. You're still going to be doing things on a regular basis that are um, selfless to a degree, more selfless than not. Tinfoil Hat dropping by the stream. Set a reminder on Friday's show. Hope everyone had a great night. Taking my ass back to bed. All right. Sorry. So Jeff is the new Sharon. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. We're getting there. You're being irrational. You should get tested for schizophrenia. You're always making shit up in your head. You need help. I don't do things I think are wrong. Why are you being defensive? Okay. Fine, DeRosa. Fine. You want to move on? You got the idealization stage. You want to copy and paste off of fucking Wikipedia and fucking jump ahead? Fine. I can do that too. Next stage. Now's the devaluation stage. So now they've gotten every piece of information that they feel necessary to manipulate you, to mirror your desires to you, so you will love them, you will marry them, you will be their means to their goal, their partner. So now you get to the devaluation stage. This is when they start to drop their mask. They feel the love bombing, the stages. You are an empathetic person, most likely. So they start to drop their masks and start to become and do more things like gaslighting. And that's when the whole time they've probably been gaslighting you. You just were blinded a little by the overall overwhelming amount of love bombing. But gaslighting is the next stage. Gaslighting is now it's to discredit you, not to discredit you publicly. At this point, that would not be beneficial to them at all. There'd be no reason to have this go outside of your head, outside of your home. They're not going to discredit you publicly. They're only wanting to attack you, your character, your memory, and your mental state, or your own perception of the perception of your own mental state by gaslighting. Quickly, I've talked about gaslighting many times. A lot of people know what it is, but quickly I will go over quickly what gaslighting a full definition is. Gaslighting was a term created after I believe 1954 movie. You can't quote me on the year, but I want to say that's correct. 1954 movie, a 50s movie called Gaslight. In the movie, about a husband and wife in a relationship, it goes sour, goes bad, they're fighting. Gaslighting is they had it was 1954. They had gaslights to means of lighting areas and rooms. Well, he would basically turn on the lights and tell her they're off, and turn off the lights at times, and she'd be like, you know, they'd be in the middle of an argument in the living room, and he would just turn off, and he'd walk over and turn off the lights, and she'd be like, "What do say things like, well, what are you doing? Why are you turning off the lights? I can't even see you. How are we have a real discussion about real things while we're in the dark? Can't even see you." And he just acts like that's preposterous, stupid, dumbest thing he's ever heard. I mean, what the fuck what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The lights are off. They're on. I can see you perfectly. And then maybe describe what she's wearing or something. I can't remember. I haven't seen part of the movie. I've read basically just read the synopsis in several many articles and about the movie. I have not actually seen it fully all the way through. So I'm not exactly sure what he says, but that's basically what it is, though. Is now, so then he tells her, because this is to give you an idea of how extreme it can be and how stupid it may sound, but that allows you to actually understand a little bit of to how you can fall under full on gaslighting, and how it will affect you to a degree of continuing to full crazy and form of psychosis. But so he says that, and then he's like, I can see you perfectly, and describes what she's wearing, or says whatever, and she knows it's not true. She knows the lights are off, but then over time, she starts to question if there's something wrong with her eyes, if there's something wrong with her pupils. Did she, is she losing? Was it her anger that got to her that created tunnel vision? All of these things start to go through her because he's attacking her credibility of herself, and he's attacking her. A lot of times you'll hear, when you hear this stage, you don't know what you're talking about. You think I'm stupid? No. You think I'm a scumbag? Like, immediately going to the worst things about him, and then turning it back onto her and her state. But then, like, random things, like he would say, like, I had a dream that I was with another girl last night. So he's not cheating. He's not been infidelous at this point. He's But he's saying that he had a dream about another girl last night. And of course, as a partner of this person that just said that to you, you're going to have the same feelings as if you were cheated on, and you're going to think about it, and you're going to wonder why he had the dreams, and you're going to wonder what the fuck that even means, and why would he even say that if he wasn't thinking about it? And does that mean he wants to cheat? Does that mean he has cheated? What the fuck does that mean? And so then when he does, or is sit, sneaking out on you, then no, you're just remembering the dream. What are you talking about? It's your like, you don't remember when when I talked about the dream a few months ago? No, that's got to be what you're thinking about. You just seeing it, and once I said that, you just started to you must be seeing things now. You must be in your own head, that now all of a sudden, ever since I said that, you've been acting weird every time my coworker Beverly comes up. All of a sudden, you're acting weird, and it started happening after I said that I had a dream about another girl, and it wasn't even about Beverly. And these things start to so now he basically set up the situation prior to gaslight you, because he now knows that he can use that to attack your own memory, to attack your own perception, to attack the way that you are seeing the world around, and evaluating the world around you. And it's all to discredit you, to make you question your own sanity. Gaslighting is all about that. And it is a long con. It takes a long time to do these things, to really create, to really show the deep effects of gaslighting. It takes a long time, because a sane, intelligent person will know that the lights are on, and will know that that's not true. They're being told constantly, but eventually, naturally, you're going to wonder that if it's happened over and over again. You thought about it before. You wondered before. You're going to start to see signs. Paranoia may set in. Because they are actually doing it, so you are actually going to see the signs. But then you've been discredited this whole time for years about this, and so you eventually accept that this person loves you. This person is not wouldn't be lying to you. This person, and all of this manipulation starts to come into effect, and that's why gaslighting is the worst, is the most devious, the most evil, the most effective, in the most damaging is what I'm looking for. The word, the most damaging form of manipulation, because eventually, that's what happens in the movie. Eventually, you're going to have a psychotic break, because what you are experiencing and the way you are perceiving the world around you is exactly right. But you've actually convinced yourself now that you're wrong about what you see and what you're experiencing every day. outside of the narcissist, every day you're going to start to question everything. Because and that's when you have a psychotic break. When you completely don't even trust anything that you think that you see. And it can, I mean, it's what sends people in institutions and 72-hour holds and psychological therapy for the rest of their life. And it's gross, disgusting, worst kind of manipulation. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that we don't all probably have done. Just because you've made these statements or heard these statements doesn't mean that they were purposefully manipulating you via gaslighting to harm you or to create you, to get you this far. But see, a person that's not a narcissist, even though they may have said these things and done these things, we've probably all said these things and kind of to deflect or project away from our own insecurities, from addressing our own insecurities. We used gaslighting. It's common, very common in almost every relationship out there. It's common. The difference is that in a normal, sane normal relationship, you're also going to not use gaslighting. You're also going to tell your partner and make your partner understand that they're not crazy. Because once they stop, accusing you of infidelity, and you're not deflecting off of having to address that or projecting to get away from addressing your own infidelity, when they stop that, you're not going to gaslight anymore. You do love your partner. You do care for them. You don't want them to get to that point. That's not the point of why you said it. You only said it to avoid you only said it to avoid, a lot of times with projection, deflection, gaslighting, manipulation, it's only to avoid you having to address your own insecurities. That's not why the narcissist is going to use the gaslighting. In this case, the narcissist is using gaslighting to discredit you and make you more moldable, more manipulative, more, being able to be more manipulated, because they have no reason to. Yes, they are going to do those things as well, but a lot of times it continues beyond having to avoid their own insecurities. It's also going to be, yes, it is going to be the same as any normal relationship I just described. They're going to use it for those reasons as well. But when it's not to avoid confronting their own insecurities, they're still going to gaslight for purposes of discrediting you in the long run, discrediting you within yourself. And that's why it's just the most fucking evil thing you can really do to anybody. It sucks. I mean, it's almost sometimes irreversible. You hit a psychotic break like that, and it's been going on for 20 years. It puts you in an institution forever, and then there's not necessarily, it could lead to DID, or it could lead to any kind of trauma. That kind of psychological break will be trauma that will be often affected for the rest of their lives, and sometimes irreversible at all. Sucks. It's nasty, evil. So yeah, that would be the reasons. That would be the second stage. Would be discredit. What I call it, devaluation or discredit stage. So hopefully that makes some sense to you on why all of these forms of projection, gaslighting, calculated manipulations are to get a rise out of you, because they know that they know you well enough to play you like a harp. And it works, because you would never imagine someone that loved you and loved to bomb you so hard in the first stage and made you feel feelings that you've never felt, and never seen anyone look at you that way and buy you such nice things and take care of you and be so good to your children that you've had with them. And they're also most likely to be successful, obviously, and that's probably their goal anyway. Financially, they've taken care of you, put a roof over your head. They've done all of these things that make you believe that they would never in a million years gaslight you like this. But that's exactly why it works. It's just fucking ridiculous. This shit's just evil. I mean, it's mm. um all this while they're straight up making up false facts, leaving out all contextual details and real facts, and blaming you for situations and outcomes that were 100% in alignment with you, on constantly lashing out violently and picking fights with you daily out of thin air on the foundation of complete nonsense and hysteria. The most ungrateful and delusional fuck you would ever have known in your life, and you just can't understand how this can be happening, so you keep trying to reach them with love, compassion, and reason, which would be the other reason that you stay in the relationship. Is not only do you, in one way, well, you might think that this person loves you, they've shown you all these things, and they've made you believe they love you, so they would never do these things. But then you're also thinking, even when you come to a realization, that's why you stay in it continuously even longer. Once you start to realize that they are doing these things and that it is against you and it is uh, evil manipulation, then you still want to reach them. You still have grown feelings for this person. You still do have empathy and do love this person. Therefore, you're going to want to stay and reach them to be a better family, to be better parents for your children, to reach them with love and compassion and reason. And so you stay even longer. And that's stage number two. Stage number two. Um, Sorry, I'm not typing out Google results as my comment. I've done the communication line before because some people are fucking retarded at it. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, just because you've said the things does not mean it's just. I mean, like I said, we've all probably gaslighted. If you think to yourself, or you believe that you've never gaslighted anybody into any statement ever, then you don't understand gaslighting. But like I said, it's a long con when it really becomes a bad form of manipulation, and just evil is really over all the time, constantly. And when they start to pick fights and create things out of nothing, hysteric, really ridiculous things every day, that's when it gets to be really bad. And like I said, it's the moments that are not to avoid their own insecurities or to confront their own problems and the bad things they've done to you or done to whoever, when it's not a situation where they have to avoid confronting their own problems, their own mistakes, their own insecurities. When it's not, you're not going to love bomb your partner anymore, because you only love bomb. I mean, I'm sorry, not love bomb, gaslight. You're only going to gaslight them in that way because you are using it as a form to deflect or project. So when it's not that situation, you're going to make your partner feel comfortable with themselves and make them understand that they're not crazy, and that um, what they see is what they are experiencing. And so that's the difference. Everybody pretty much has done it. Just what frequency and for what intent. Seriously, if you don't do basic communication with someone you claim is important to you, then they ain't that important to you. You don't care that much. No, absolutely. Everybody has time. There's no such thing for anybody in any situation to ever say, I don't have time. The only reason, I don't care whether you're a CEO of, and President of the United States, Donald fucking Trump, you've got time if it's a priority, if it's a high enough priority for you, and your partner, your spouse, your lifelong love, uh, spouse that you truly love and want to be with, you have time for them. A girl you just met and you really like her and you really don't want her, you really want her to know it, and you really are into her that deep, you got time to talk to her. You'll make time. There's always time. Time is not to say you don't have time is a fugazi. It's a fucking fugazi. And I love that word, but obviously, but it's yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for anything at any time at any given point. You've always got time to do it if it was a priority to you. It's not. That's why you don't have time for it. So I don't like that word. I don't like being told that either, Jamie. Sorry, I'm not typing. We are the world. We are the children. Yep, because an arc will only do what it benefits them. Yes, absolutely, bomb, dear. Absolutely, dear. Suddenly they're fantastic communicators. Well, I mean, a lot of times, Jamie, you got to realize too that um, not everyone, no one is you. No one is me. We are all individuals and we all have different things that we want, need, desire, as far as information, as far as, these different things like gratitude and admiration and affirmation and things that we want and need out of a relationship to make us feel comfortable and make us be happy and make us be in love with someone. And so just because it is a healthy relationship is has those tough moments. Well, I say tough, they really don't always not necessarily that tough, but they're awkward. Those blunt force, when you have to tell your partner just because you're in love and it's a healthy relationship that's going to last for the rest of your lives and you're going to be the healthiest freaking, blue pill fantasy doesn't mean that there's not moments where you have to suck it up and tell your partner what you want and what you're thinking and why you felt the way you did because they're not going to read your mind. They're not you. They're a different gender. They're a different, from a different place, in a different situation, perceiving things differently. And so, of course, the more loving, healthy, usually that's, you can see what your partner, know what your partner wants, and and then you also want to please them and fulfill those desires. But still, every relationship's going to have those awkward, hard communication moments where you just have to freaking suck it up and tell them what you want, what you need. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with resentment. And to avoid the resentment, all you do is tell them because they didn't know, because they didn't see it that way. And that's hard. It's hard to do that. You want your partner to be able to know that um, what you want. You want them to know, you want them to want you. Want you to want me. I mean, that's just natural. And so it's hard sometimes to give that up and see that and understand that and give up that awkward moment. As I know for me, I do it all the time. It's hard. Fuck that. you know? You know, but it's just all in how you do it, how you approach it, what your intent is. Your language, body language, nonverbal communication, tone of voice. You're not gaslighting them in order to get what you want, Jamie. You're gaslighting your woman all the time. Mm, when they perform well, don't get comfy. It will switch up real soon. When they perform well, when they're doing all the right things, you're saying, Dia. You're saying by meaning by the mean by saying when they perform well, you're meaning they are they're doing everything right in the relationship to you. At that point in time, they seem to be giving you gifts and doing it selfless acts, and they seem to be taking out the trash when they should without being told, and they seem to be taking up the slack in their part of the relationship, and everything seems to be good and happy at that time. Is that what you're saying when you mean perform well? Because yes, you're right. Once you get comfy is what they're waiting on. At that point, they're trying to make you lower your walls again. At some point, you may have found out and started to question them. You may have caught them in a lie that led to something serious, and they couldn't get out of it because they no longer had lies or whatever to manipulate you. So at that point, they're going to love bomb you again. We talked about it earlier. Now the reason for love bombing is to now once love bombing is often used in manipulation later on in a relationship with a narcissist, because now at this point, once they've been found out and they can't say anything, they don't have much to go on, and you have them dead to the rights. At that point, that's when they're going to start love bombing again. And now the love bombing is not to fully understand you, to mirror your own desires towards yourself. Now the point of love bombing is to lower your walls, to make you feel comfortable again that the original feelings are right, but to just make you to avoid those, you've been fighting a lot. You've been fighting a lot. They make you get comfortable again with the relationship and give you some hope, some understanding, or some um, confidence that things have changed. They will change, and you will, go back to the original first part of the relationship, and then maybe that'll last forever into your graves. So that love bombing now becomes a point to just lower your walls, because once you found them out, you're no longer going to be tricked by them. You're going to be questioning everything they have to say every time they have to work late with Beverly. And then they're not going to be able to manipulate you and so easily, because you're going to be watching every move and questioning every move at that point. Once you found them out on something big or whatever. So at that point, they want to lower your walls and make you more comfortable. And once they can do that, feel they comfortable enough to do that, they're going to start sleeping out. They're going to start stepping out on you again, or they've been doing it the whole time. I mean, see, at that point, most likely they wouldn't be, because they wouldn't be they wouldn't be participating in infidelity at that point, because they wouldn't have to love bomb you, to make you lower your walls and feel comfortable on you. They would have to get full on back into you. They wouldn't have time to be with Beverly on the side, or a side chick. The side chick, the mistress, the side chick would take a back seat, because now it's more important for their status, for their goal, to keep their family appearance at least to be healthy, would be to full on give you attention again and do everything right in the relationship. So they would put the side piece to the side, and they would get nothing, because they would want no reason to not, no phone calls, no text, very little communication at work, no reason at all would they want at that point to be caught again. So it doesn't mean that the mistress is gone forever. It just means that at that point she's gonna be. It's gonna seem to you like, he's back into you, loving you, and everything can go back to the way it was before the infidelity. And therefore you're gonna lower your walls eventually, because you're gonna believe it, because it's what you want and desire, and they're feeding you everything you want. And then and then eventually, once they feel comfortable again, they're gonna go back to Beverly, because that's just the only goal of the love bombing at this point is to lower your walls. And it's the same, but it brings up the same memories as the past, but for different, now using the love bombing for different reasons. Or they are. I said you. I don't think you're a narcissist, do you? Whoever I was talking to them. Everybody. Everybody is just wearing a mask. Everybody's different. Nobody's the same, and there's no reason to think they are the same. Everybody's wearing a mask because everybody has some insecurity, something in their lives, something that they have some shame for. Whether it's misguided shame or not, whether it's just a insecurity that shouldn't be there, that no one else actually perceives them that way. It doesn't matter. Everybody has that in some degree. Even the most confident, appearing confident, successful people in the world got some insecurity somewhere, and they're going to be wearing a mask. All the world's a stage, Jamie. We're only mere players. I have a question. If you're sitting at your desk, why would you need a headband, or you doing a workout behind the desk? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Like I said, welcome to the stream. Tan's World, Aussie Outlaw, Thames Kiwi, Joel's, the whole Aussie crew. What time is it in the Aussie world? Oh shit, it's 1:07 already here. Damn. What y'all just what's see so what y'all just getting to be like, mid-afternoon, time to do hit the YouTube streets. Maybe I am. I just thought, it makes perfectly good sense that a man with a jogging suit sits behind a desk. Yes, Jules, I do what I want when I want to, because I wanted to. Makes perfect sense to me. I don't need an invention, just a big sailboat. Just a big sailboat. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I would like to sail around the world get some time away from people. Just oh, Mama Goonie, sorry I missed you. Good night. Good night. You stay because you think you can help them through it. Yes. It's that level, it's that high or it's that level of empathy. You have empathy, Aussie. So therefore, you've seen it in the past. You've seen them not manipulate you. You've seen them not always arguing with you, picking fights out of nowhere for nothing, and not. You've seen them when they loved bomb you. You missed this, or you missed this. You go back and watch the stream, Aussie. If you think you've dealt with a narcissist, go back and watch the stream, because with the very first stage, we're only in the second stage now. There's 3 stages of almost every relationship with the narcissist. And the first stage is the stage that most people, at first, when they first start to understand what narcissism is and that they may have been dealing with the narcissist, it's the first stage and the full understanding of the first stage that they don't understand, because they didn't see it that way in the beginning, and it's what led them to continue to be allowed to be manipulated, and then continue to be manipulated into staying in a relationship that was toxic. So it's like I said, go back and watch the first bit about the idealization or idolization stage. And I didn't realize how late it was, so we are going to skip straight on into the third stage, phase 3, which is the discard. It's like you're being thrown away in the trash like a used tampon they found stuck on the bottom of a damn shoe. You're worth nothing. You are a disgusting piece of shit they've ever seen. They want nothing ever to do with you. Lose their number. Don't ever call them. Don't even look their way. Don't send them a Christmas card. Don't get out of the car at the freaking police station to give them to do the kid swap. At the point of the discard, the narcissist is done in their head. It doesn't mean they're done forever, because they could change. Things change and life changes. But at the discard, they are now done. You are no longer providing for them what they desire, what they need to fulfill their goal. So now you are worthless. It doesn't matter. They didn't love you. They didn't. The only reason they married you and had kids with you and built a family with you was because you were means to boost their ego, boost their status in this world, and you are no longer worthy of that because of something you've done, or they have done enough, or so that would be kind of one case. And maybe you've done something, or maybe they just found somebody else. Maybe they found a better trophy wife. Maybe they get on into middle age life, and now a 22-year-old trophy wife that was Beverly, their secretary, is now going to boost them and give them more status because of how she looks and who she is and what she has to offer. Or you have gotten the best of this narcissist. This narcissist has been put up against the wall and realizes that no longer will they be able to manipulate you to a degree, so they're going to discard you. It doesn't mean they believe they'll never be able to manipulate you again. It just means that you are no longer, they don't see any more benefit from the relationship because they have screwed up too many times. You may have such a high level of empathy that you want to stay and love them, and you can fix it, and we can talk it through, and everything will be okay and go back to the way it used to be. I don't care what you've done. I can forgive you. But the narcissist realizes at some point that it's not working anymore. You're not providing for them what you were providing for them. They have done too many things wrong. Maybe there's more things in the closet that is only bound to come out now because of their actions against you or against the world. And so, therefore, you are now no longer worthy. It's better to cut you off at that point, because then it may prevent the other skeletons from coming out, or prevent you from pressing charges and sending them to jail for physical harm or something like that. So that at that point, this is another reason why the narcissist may discard you. Well, when they discard you, it is not to make you think that. That would be the silent treatment. The silent treatment may happen throughout the time when they just want you to believe they're done. But at this point, it's the discard. And you might hear things like, I'm not in love with you anymore. I don't see us being together for life. No way. Nope, not anymore. I don't want to be here. I'm not attracted to you. Everyone else is more attracted to me as long as they're not you. I don't feel the same way about you anymore because you did too much damage. You should have listened to me when I told you to stop XYZ. But you didn't. So now this is what you get. You had this coming. Now it's time. So these are the types of things that's still your fault. It's always going to be your fault. You're never going to win. Doesn't matter what you've done, what you've proven, anything. If you haven't sent them to incarceration, you are not going to win the scorecard game. You are not going to win the who was worse in the relationship. It's always going to be you. They're never going to accept their own part, or they're never going to at least acknowledge and admit to it. So you're wasting your time. I'm never going to regret leaving you. I can't wait to get out of here. They'll take everything they've ever learned about your intimate life, fears, desires, past, family, and find ways to make irrational yet extremely hurtful comments about them in relation to you. They figured you out. They know you better than you know yourself. Now they're going to use that against you to get you to stop, to get you to go away, to get you to just shut up, to get you to stop, not press charges, to get you to not, harass Beverly, to get you to not, stalk their Facebook later on. They're going to say all these things to you to really discredit you, make you feel like you are a piece of shit, you are the problem, you are the reason. You are no longer attracted to. They are no longer attracted to you in any way, shape, or form. You are a tampon they found on the bottom of their shoe, and they would discard you. And a lot of times at this point now, the whole time would never discredit you publicly, and most likely they're not going to discredit you publicly up to this point because you being a good wife, you being a good husband, you being successful in your job, in your career, you being a good mother, us having successful kids that are healthy and play baseball and get a good education. All of these things, they would give you everything you need to do those things because are those are situations that are building their own status. They're to either gain the power, success, or money, which are their goals. One of them three, most likely one of the three is their goals in leading every single decision they make. So, but now at this point, they're done with you. They believe they're done with you. So that's when the smear campaign starts. Because again, if there are acts against them, if you have information that may lead to them being incarcerated for acts of violence or whatever it may be, discrediting you publicly is now the goal so that Beverly won't believe you. His boss won't believe you when you send him an email, that the police are going to discredit you, the court, 12 members of your peers in the jury are going to be more likely to find you also discrediting. They're going to do everything they know to protect that by creating a smear campaign, every evil, deceivious, but relatable, to you, possible, that would avoid you being able to have credit against whatever it is there. If you're here on YouTube and you've dealt with a narcissist on YouTube, they're going to try to discredit your audience, not really your future audience, but your current audience, so that they won't believe that it's them. They won't, when there's videos made either way, here and there, whatever the case may be in this drama freaking community, they're going to try to discredit you the most possible so you don't so if you do eventually decide you're an empathetic person, you're not automatically wanting to discredit and smear campaign the narcissist. So you're going to probably keep it quiet, and you're probably going to try to move on, find another girl, find another guy, and you're going to, you just kind of want to be done at that point. But they are afraid that you're going to eventually decide that you might decide to step out and bring awareness to a situation that they've done something wrong. So they're going to discredit the people that you might tell. They're going to discredit your friends, your family, your boss. They're going to try to do anything they can to discredit you for future possible reasons that you might eventually, because they know you may not be doing it now, but you might when you get that angry. And so that's when they're going to start to discredit your current level, not necessarily your future. They're not going to go on and try to discredit your ability to get a job or your ability to get a loan. No, they're going to start discrediting the people around you right now, because those are the people that are going to believe you right now about this person, most likely. And so that's what happens on this platform that I'm seeing myself. It's all batshit crazy. Shit's fucking nuts. The rational, good-hearted person that you are, you're just left spinning. And I don't know any situation on the platform. I don't know. Only my own perceptions. I don't know that you're not the narcissist. A lot of times the narcissists don't know they're narcissists. Obviously, you may be the narcissist yourself. And that's why it seems familiar to you. I don't know. I don't know your situation well enough. I don't know it at all, really. Nor do I know any situation anybody's been in except for myself. So I can only speak on myself and what I've experienced and what it seems to be. Um, but that's typically what the smear campaign gets to. Um, and then phase 4 is phase 4 is an optional phase, or not an optional phase. It is it could or couldn't happen. The hoovering is the return. If the narcissist did believe they were done with you, but if they get bored or they have a falling out and divorce and the next relationship doesn't work out and they have no immediate means to fill the void in their partner, in the person they can manipulate to help better their own situation, they don't have that in their life at any given moment in the future, 5, 10, 15 years from now, then they will come back. And that's why I said earlier, the most important thing, if you feel like you're dealing with a narcissist in a relationship and you feel like you can't get out, the most common reason that you feel that way is because you have not cut off communication. If you cut off communication completely, you will disarm the narcissist, and it's the only way. And just to say, if they message you 3 years down the road and you respond, leave me alone, one sentence, leave me alone, in an email, or you pick up the phone and say, leave me alone, click, that's enough. That's enough information. That's enough to tell the narcissist. They may not call back that day. They may not call back till the next relationship that falls out, but they will be back. Because that's enough information to tell them, hey, you're listening. You will listen, even if just for a little bit. You care enough to respond, even if it's a negative emotions that make you respond. You care enough to respond, even in that short negative way. So it may not have worked right now, but you may be in a different situation 5 years from after the 5 years. You may have gone through a problem yourself, and you may be in a lower point in your life. And the fact that you listened to me and picked up the phone at all means that you might do it. Next time, you might say 2 sentences and 3 sentences and listen to me and let me in. So cutting off communication completely and fully is the only way to cut off the narcissist and disarm the narcissist. Even a word, a sentence, picking up the phone and hanging it up, getting your mother to answer the phone, getting your lawyer to answer the phone. If those means aren't necessary, don't do it. Be done. Hold strong conviction on your feeling of being done, and you will disarm the narcissist. It's the only way. They may not come back, though. They may find in the next relationship that they found the perfect mate that leads them for the rest of their life, their perfect victim. And they may never need you again. And that's why they never call you again. They never contact you again. They're not always going to call. They're not going to call 100%. They're not going to fall and use the hoovering phase, because they found the perfect victim after you. But most likely, as they have many times in every relationship and every bridge they've burned, every bridge they've come across they've burned, there's a good chance that after you, they're going to do the same again and again and again and again. And they're going to come back and send little motions and send you flowers or send you something that reminds you of their marriage or whatever, nice little thing that kind of all of a sudden you see them at the grocery store, or all of a sudden, you happen to get gas at the same gas station and they run into you. It's not on purpose. I mean, it's not an accident. It's the narcissist, because the narcissist at this point, if the narcissist is happy, doesn't need and has found a perfect victim to fulfill their needs of what they need in life, to boost their status, they don't need you anymore. Truly, they won't even see you. You could be pumping gas next to them. You could bump into them in front of the watermelon, and they wouldn't look twice at you. They would only stand there long enough so you would shut up and go away. They would have no means for you anymore at all. so they would not run into you and want to talk to you in the because you pump gas next to each other. They would see you, might wave to you, get back in their car and go, unless there was reason to be nice, to be thoughtful, to engage in some sort of back and forth, civil or more conversation. There are no coincidences at that point unless they have means or reason or want to come back into your life to start the cycle all over again. So, went quickly through that phase, but that phase is, again, doesn't happen all the time. It does happen most of the time. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's a little bit easier to understand once you get the whole idea of the 4 phases. You understand why this is the case. It's a little bit easier to understand. But again, if you missed it, the very first stage is the most important stage, is the most where I explain mostly of how setting up the manipulation of the way the narcissist sets up the manipulation in a relationship is why most people that deal with the narcissist go too far, stay in the relationship too far. It's all about what happens in the very beginning. So if you haven't missed it, if you came in later in the stream, please go back, watch a little bit of it. You don't have to, of course, watch it all or whatever. But yeah, if you think you're dealing with a narcissist and you've always wondered why you let yourself be abused, why you let yourself get that far, why did you stay too long, why didn't you see the signs before, go back and watch the beginning of the stream and you'll understand a little bit more, hopefully. Maybe not, but a little bit more. Maybe it will relate to you in your relationship, in your situation, your past, make you understand that a lot of it was out of your control. A lot of it was may give you a better understanding of how it all started and why you were able to get to the point where you were willing to accept abuse and stay and try and help and work through what you should have left. So, thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. DeRosa Show, Joel's, Aussie, Tens World, Joel's, Dizzy Show. All right, so Mamaguni. Let's see, Jamie's Corner 3.0. Tom's the Kiwi. Calling him out for his narc ways. Narc. Ghost Dog Productions, Bomdia is excellent. I really enjoyed your comments and your input. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you, truly. Truly, if I wasn't speaking to myself, I would still probably speak to myself. That's what I do. But still, I I'm still just humbling that people are willing to listen and that maybe I can help some people in this way. I mean, these are what I've studied my whole life on, and just really enjoy and always, even before I have ever felt like I dealt with a narcissist, it's just something, behavior modification and understanding why people behave the way they do is always been a fascination and what I love to do. And then I'm a teacher at heart. I was a teacher for 6 years and taught autism for 6 years in the public school system, and it's what I really love to do more than anything. So it really is doing me a favor, and I'm so grateful that there are people here to listen, and maybe some people that might be taking something from the stream, because without that, I would really not be getting my, what I want and what I desire. I'm not a teacher anymore. And I find very little moments where I can teach in my current profession. So that's one reason I've used YouTube over the last 2.5 years, was to fulfill that void that I don't have any, that was created when I left teaching my boys, my autistic boys. So I appreciate you being here. It's very again humbling just to know that people may be listening and getting something out of it. I enjoy it more than anything. So I appreciate you for being here. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, give it a like. Tell someone your experience here. Tell someone what you thought of the channel, of the stream. Because the next one, hold on. This stream was the phases, but also specifically to the common phrases that you might hear in these phases. I think what was the next one that I was looking into, that I was already doing some research on to do is is going to step away from narcissism a bit, but transition. And what happens, the next stream, I don't know when it'll be, but look for it, will be what happens when a sociopath and a narcissist get into a relationship together. Because I will be soon transitioning away from MPD, as I've done MPD several times on the channel already. Of course, I'll probably never stop talking about MPD fully. I mean, forever. But I'm going to be transitioning into sociopath and psychopath over the next couple of months or month, and so look out for the next stream to be what happens when a sociopath and a narcissist get into a relationship together as we transition to sociopath, and what that means and who that is and what um, signs and things they say. So look out for that. That's gonna be a good one. I've already done some research on that earlier today, and I'm excited about that one. I never really thought about that before I came up with that stream. So yeah, I think it's been a great way to transition into another idea of a different personality disorder. Even though sociopath's not technically a personality disorder, it's what it is. So yeah, thank you much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you all. Jess, thank you. I see you. Thank you very much. Talk to you later. Um, yeah, okay. You lie. You lie. You lie, ghost dog. You lie. Later, y'all. Be good. Be safe. Choose the light and the truth, because it is only the light and the truth are the only way for passage to the kingdom. It's the light and the way that will give you passage to the kingdom. Don't give in to the temptations of the darkness. Choose the light and the way always. It is the only way for passage to the kingdom. Y'all are the best. See you next time. Adios.